Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Halidom Hotspot, your one-stop shop for all things Regalia Lost. My name is Orthodox, and as always, joining me, we have our co-host LERART.
Hey guys, hey, hello, hey.
Hello, hello. And our co-host GLACE.
Oh, hello there, everyone.
Aloha, GLACE. How are you doing today?
I had a midterm today, so make of that what you will.
I feel your pain. Yeah, university's been rather stressful, so I can only imagine. We're getting into the midterm weeks for a lot of people. So, that being said, Glace, we know now as well that you are an avid fork knifer. I think that's the correct term for the game of, is it Epic Games? Is that what they call it these days? I don't know, I'm a boomer, so it is what it is.
I can say that the games are quite epic.
They, sometimes there's some free games on the store, but, I heard that, our next collab is with Fork Knife, so how have you been faring in Alberian Battle Royale?
Well, just like Fortnite, my main strategy is to camp in a bush and just wait for as long as I can.
Wow, you're
and
so
then try to
Glaze.
kill anyone who goes, yeah, I am. Well, at least you think that. Because
Yeah.
I'm actually really bad at the game. At both Fork Knife and Alberian Battle Royale. I have not won a single game besides the tutorial match that the game throws at you.
That's but see, the tutorial match is the one that gives you the most. So
Yeah.
I don't think you're missing out on too much, which we can kind of talk about, right? In terms of the good and the bad of this new game mode, Alberian Battle Royale. It's been about, I want to say about a week.
Yeah. It's been a
At
week.
least to date of recording. For the listeners, they'll probably be hearing this episode a little bit later of a date, hopefully released.
It's
soon.
October 3 today. October 2.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah, it is in October. We are in spooky month, so
it's Halloween.
times are ahead.
Spooky month.
Spooky tights are coming back. We'll have Halloween Cleo.
No.
No.
Oh, I mean, we have Halloween Mim, we have Halloween Ellison. Halloween Cleo seems practically inevitable.
And possibly a Halloween Mim Spiral. My dream come true.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Back to the Battle Royale.
Oh, yeah.
LERART, have you played much of the Battle Royale? What are your thoughts?
Okay, I played to get the 2 Sunlight Stones and 2 Champion's Testament. So I've played quite a lot.
That's a decent amount,
yeah. I won some games, and I did AFK on some games, but I gotta say half of them was I was playing Genshin, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna join a Battle Royale, and now just like play it and then come back to Genshin. And while I was looking for a match, I forgot I was looking for a match, and I was just playing Genshin. And then I looked at my screen and like, oh, you're dead. Okay. I just forgot about that. I tried to play though, because but
well, I mean, the Sunlight Stone and the Champion's Testaments are there, so at the very least, I mean, you're gonna want those rewards.
Yeah, those are good rewards. I was like, I mainly wanted to get those. I did get the dagger thing and Alex skin, but other than that, not really a big fan of the mode, to be honest. But yeah, I did play a fair share of matches.
I think from the standpoint of like game balance, there's a few weapons that are very overpowered, and there are a few weapons that are very underpowered. And that most likely has to do with server issues, or just the balancing that they've chosen for how much damage each of the weapons do.
I'm just gonna say,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just
No,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
I don't care if they're balanced or not. I really hate daggers because they can just fucking vanish. They just go poof.
Well,
And I'm like,
you stay in the bushes,
where'd he
so
go?
like, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, there is no
well, yeah, but like
public vision.
it's hard to. Yeah, they get wiped off the face of Alberia, and I'm like, where did they go? And the thing is, they know where I am in the bush, but I don't know where they are in the bush, and that's what scares me.
When they turn invisible, they go to Brazil. That's it.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
You're going to Brazil.
They visit LERART.
Yeah. They come in my door. Hey, what's up? Just...
Yeah. I think the one interesting thing that they've been careful about, right, is that when you win an ABR or an Alberian Battle Royale, you get 15 of these points, right? And when you lose, coming in 16th place, you get 10. So there isn't really a large difference between the two values. You still are rewarded just for playing in this event. But because the reward for losing has been so high, we've been seeing that a lot of players are, not playing the game mode. They're just AFK farming, the participation points.
Yeah.
So that definitely, it can't be a thing because it's not healthy for the current game state. But I can understand the dilemma that the developers would have when you introduce a player versus player game mode in primarily player versus environment style game.
I would increase the rewards for whoever won, because in my opinion, like, you can still get away with, like, get all the items with losing, because like, you still get the points, and it really doesn't matter if you get it fast or not, because it doesn't cost any stamina or wings. So it's literally just time of your life. So increasing the rewards for whoever won is a good idea in my opinion. Because I think the difference in winning and losing is just too little.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I try to play, but like, I win, and I'm like, did I win? I'm not sure. I don't know if I won.
The real winners are the friends we pick up
along.
Well, I mean, it's a battle royale. You're the last one standing.
Yeah. Goodbye,
there are no friends with you.
It's just me.
But
yeah, see, the thing is without like another incentive to come in first, it makes it difficult, aside from bragging rights, for people to want to try for those extra 5 points. And we were kind of talking off camera. I was like, something that would be purely cosmetic and not be something that would give people FOMO, or fear of missing out, would be, the epithet system that they had, like the mentor bonus epithet, where every time you came in first, it could count towards a different title for the Alberian Battle Royale that you could show off, right? Because the match history function is nice. That's a good start. You have the ability to screenshot that. You can share it on Twitter. You can tell everybody how good you are. But then again, in the current state, coming in first is actually a lot easier than it would be if all 16 players were trying.
Yeah.
Primarily, the game is new. And then the other half is that most games I load into, only 8 of the players are active or less. And the other players are AFK farming the points. So it's definitely, easier, right, to win. You're only competing with 8 other players, and if you happen to find random players that aren't playing on the map, that's kind of an unfair advantage when you get the EXP and the skills from getting the kill. So it's difficult. But like I said, I mean, it's season 0. So, for those listening, definitely send feedback. The best way to make changes to the game mode is, of course, to tell the developers what you are interested in having in the game. Is there anything aside from the point system that you guys would prefer to have?
They mentioned in the latest this month in Dragalia Lost is that they're trying to find a way for you to be able to unlock skins for the characters that you do own in your barracks. So like, there's only a select handful in the shop right now, but like hopefully in the future you could just get ones for your favorite, like Berserker or Yachio, characters like that. Just you have them in your barracks. You're like, all right, and just shell out a couple points. You can play as them. That'd be pretty cool. That's what I have to add. I just want to play as Patia.
Yeah. I think maybe like different maps, or a little bit like my biggest problem with playing when I really want to win is that sometimes I feel like I die and it's not even my fault, because I'm playing with people like from all around the world, right?
Right.
So a lot of times like I try to attack someone and they just teleport, or like my attacks don't connect because I'm playing melee, and I don't have like AoE like access because I'm playing dagger.
Right, yeah.
So a lot of times I feel like my attacks just simply don't work. So maybe try fixing that. I don't know how though.
Yeah, that definitely might be a server-side issue or a connectivity issue with the new game mode.
Yeah.
I've definitely felt that. There's been a few games where I've rolled forward and then used the like AoE blue skill that you can pick up, and the enemy AI will be in the range, and then all of a sudden they'll blink away, and I'll just take a ton of damage, and I have no idea what happened.
I also feel like dragons are a little bit too strong, the shapeshifting.
Oh, the Midgar section?
Yeah, because like most of my wins were when I just saved Midgard and I used it like after everyone, and then I just won.
Right. Yeah, I mean it is good. The thing is even when you dash with Midgar, like the roll, the swipe, that also knocks players down or away.
So you could just knock them into the miasma, right?
You could. I mean, the thing is like, ideally what you would do is you would transform, and then you would dash at a ranged unit, knock them down, and then proceed to auto while they're down, and then skill, and you can stun lock with the dragon. So the thing is though, around that is you can kite the dragon actually fairly easily if you are a ranged unit. You just need to be aware, that and assume that whoever is left on the map has dragon, and stay at a respectable distance, because at this point, whoever dragons first loses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's say you're down to the 1v1 scenario, you're at the very end of the fight. If you dragon first, you've lost. Because then they wait out your dragon, or they dragon into the skill, and then that iframes the skill, and then they just dragon skill you back, and then when you shift back, you die. So, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously very strong, and the other big thing is the more kills you get, the more dragon gauge you get. So you have the ability to shift into Midgar at least once, sometimes twice, depending on how many kills you have. But it's hard to balance that when half your player base is AFK farming, right? Because again, it's like picking up Easter eggs. You're just looking for the AFK players before the miasma claims in order to win the match. So, as far as the weapons go, axe and bow are way too strong. Bow is ridiculously strong because when you hold your force strike, you have the ability to auto lock on any enemy that you see, and these enemies, right, like could be a player or it could be a CPU, but the weapon itself will lock on before you actually have vision of it. So
Really?
yeah, I mean, if they're in the grass, it won't lock on, right? But let's say they're out of the grass and they're somewhere nearby, the bow force strike will lock on. And then you're like, oh, okay, I have an enemy to, like, you know, the top left. Oh, I have an enemy to the bottom left, you know, wherever it is. And if you fire, you can probably hit them. Even if you miss, that amount of knowledge to know where the player is from that far away allows you to position appropriately, and then you just never get hit. Because you can just play it safe with a bow, you know, and you win because, you know, you have auto reticle force striking. You never have to use a skill. You can hold all your skills for close quartering. So when the melee inevitably closes the gap, then you just blow all your skills. Right. So yeah, I mean, kiting with force strikes on bow is very, very. And yeah, I mean,
Axes?
basically the way you have to look at it is every single bow unit is Hunter Cerise. Is what it comes down to. You know, and Hunter Cerise as a character, super mobile and good damage. Yeah, axes. Axes are crazy, man. Yeah, axes. They have the ability. Like I was saying off camera, right? For axes, the thing with axes is like, if you see a ranged character like a bow, you just avoid them or ignore them. And when you inevitably come down to the 1v1, the axe skill just deletes any range. Like, they don't stand a chance. If you land that skill, it's game over. Like, and with connectivity issues, it's kind of a coin flip, right? If you're actually going to land it, even if it's range. But it's really strong. So yeah, and they're just really tanky, as LERART said. They're just really tanky. So if you're popping like healing, if you're popping, you know, the skill, then yeah, I've lost. I think the only games that I'll like lose are to axes, because we'll get into a 1v1, and then if they getting close, right? If you make a mistake with your spacing or kiting, the axe just wins through skill 1. They just win. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're playing axe and you want to play to win, just avoid the ranged characters. You can kill all the melees pretty darn easily. I mean, your attacks hit so hard, they just have so much knockback. Even the force striking is fairly decent. Yeah. Fun fact on Lance, I played a lot just because Mim's skin, right? If you are a level higher than the ranged character that you're playing against, right? And you use the skill to do the force strike bonus damage, you can snipe a ranged character from the bush with the range force strike, and 9 times out of 10 it'll just kill the enemy. Like, you'll just one shot them. So
yeah, that's
probably the new GLACE tactic, right? Because
yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
you just hide in the bush.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, the thing is I mean, typically when I play the game, and I'll most likely end up making a small like how-to video, you know, or like tips and tricks for coming in first with Alberian Battle Royale. But if you're playing melee, or really any weapon type, the goal should just be to you know, max out your skills and to collect as much EXP as you can. You want to make sure that the level difference between you and whomever you're fighting is as great as possible. So sitting around and waiting is like probably the worst thing that you could do, just because there will be a stat difference the two of you that are fighting. So in terms of running into another player, if you do happen to find another player, or you happen to find 2 players fighting, the best way then to engage them would be, you know, it's based on weapon, but if you're playing Lance, then the goal for Lance is to always have S1 ready, but also always have the effect of S1 on your character. So what I mean is, like, if you pop S1, it increases the power of the Force Strike, but then you can also charge the S1 in the background so that you have 2 of it ready to hit an enemy. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely nice to have 2 empowered Force Strikes on Lance. It takes a little bit to charge, but all you got to do is land the tip, just the tip, and you'll get the kill. So yeah, I mean, you heard it, just the tip for the Lance.
Oh god.
Yeah, gun is Manicaster, right?
Yeah.
Not good.
Gun.
They made it short ranged, which makes gun like the best counter to dagger, but like dagger is really not so great. It takes too long to go invisible, and you're invisible for too short, and because of the lag that exists, every time you approach an enemy, you just get deleted. Like, you know, there are 16 players in your game. If one of them is an axe or one of them is a gun, and you're playing dagger, you just hard lose. So I played a few games as dagger, and I would turn invisible and I would immediately appear behind like a gun, and they would just tap their screen for like 1 or 2 autos and I'd be dead. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I only used
and I'd have a level advantage. So it's I don't know, it's strange. Yeah, sword, I don't know. Sword is fine. Sword is kind of whatever. I kind of wish they made the Force Strike on sword charge like normal. I don't know why they nerfed the sword Force Strike.
That's the thing I can't like deal with Lance, is that I'm used to just like, especially with me using Patia all the time. I'm used to like the fast.
Right.
I know it doesn't
right.
affect the Force Strike charge time, but I'm just used to the faster Force Strikes. And I go in
Yeah.
Battle Royale, and it takes like twice as long, and I'll get to half charge and let go, and I'm just a sitting duck.
Right, it'll fail, and you stutter, and then you just get deleted. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to play differently, right? I mean, the only weapon play style that translated over perfectly from normal gameplay to ABR is bow, which is why bow feels so good, right? In ABR. Realistically, if they increase the Force Strike charge time on bow, it probably would balance the weapon a little more. But I can understand why they decreased the time on sword and lance, because they kept the knockback on those weapons. And subsequently, they increased the power of the lance Force Strike, because you have the powered one for your Force Strike. So yeah. Healing. Okay, so the staff, right? The staff is it's just wonky. There's a way where there's a strategy where you can win by out healing the opponent. Did you know? Did
like
you
in
know
the
this?
miasma?
Yeah, like, you know how it just like keeps closing in?
Mm-hmm.
You basically just out heal the opponent. That's like all you do.
That is.
And then they
pretty
just
lame.
die. It's like you just run, you run away, and they can't kill you because you go into the miasma, and then you can heal more than the miasma deals, right? And then you just win because they can't do anything when it's just you and them.
Huh. So you could kind of just win by not moving, by just using Force Strike and like healing yourself constantly in the miasma. Could you do that?
Basically, yes. It's kind of lame,
Nice.
but yeah, you basically can. So,
great.
yeah, no, I was thinking something that I really want and that I've sent feedback on is I want a duo queue
Yes.
in the game. I want like 8 teams of 2, right? You know, if you're gonna do 16 solo players, then give me 8 teams of 2, right? And then let us play, as a team. And then you could have fun interactions like, the Lance S1 empowers both Force Strikes, or the staff Force Strike heals, both your teammates if they're within the circle. So you can
Imagine
kind of
that.
mix and match weapon types. You could have one melee, one ranged character. What do you guys
Imagine-
think about that?
You've already gone about how annoying bow 4-strike is. Now imagine that, but with the 100% boost from Lance S1.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you have that, and then you have the lance buddy in the bush. So someone approaches the bow, they run up to the bow, and then the 4-strike lance buddy appears and just claps them.
Dude, that's funny.
So yeah, I mean, it would be fun. It would be fun to and as LERART said, more maps would be fun too. The current map is fun. It's interesting, right? Because the bog pools and the poison pools, they're interesting, but at the same time, they're just kind of there. So I don't know. I like the grass. I like that there's obstruction of vision. I'm not too big of a fan of the bog and the poison.
They're just annoying because
Yeah.
the bog hardly lasts for long, and the poison barely does that much damage to you, especially if you have a healing skill. And
Right.
skills on there are basically abundant. You just I believe your strategy is that you always have a healing skill going, and you just have max stack.
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is,
if you have if you have a running advantage, you just keep popping heal, and then you can always have 2 heals in the bag, while 1 heal is active. So
all the
'cause, yeah, you'll-
poison and I was just
Yeah,
gonna say
you'll-
all the poison and bug goals do is just prevent you from shape shifting, I guess.
yeah, I mean, bog
Well,
also you'll take increased damage. So if somebody can force you, like there's ways where I guess you could force a ranged character to try to kite into the bog, and then if they go through the bog, you can cut them off, right, and catch up to them. But in most scenarios, if you're gonna take on a ranged character and you're playing melee, you almost always want them to lose sight by going into the brush, or you want to fight them in close quarters like the ruins, which is typically where the miasma ends up at the end. So if you're playing a ranged unit, then saving skills like melee skills and dragon to the end is definitely the goal. And then to even win or survive that part of the fight. But obviously, if you're playing melee, that's where you'll shine. So yeah, I don't know. I guess my final note is send feedback. I'm enjoying it. I think the rewards are great. But I think there's a lot of potential for the game mode to grow, and to be more enjoyable in the coming months.
Yeah, I just want to play as Patia. That's it.
The humble goals, right?
I am a simple man, and you know this.
Kind of want to play like a lot of characters actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big one for me.
I imagine the potential though with like collab characters. So for instance, like okay, I like throw this around a lot, but like a Mega Man X collab. Imagine the Mega Man X collab comes out, but the banner doesn't start until like halfway through the event. But you could play as a character as a skin in the battle royale, so you can kind of get
That would
like,
be
some
interesting.
of their voice lines. You could hear that, and you just have fun with them. And suddenly, hey, they're out as a unit. Go get them.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if you can't keep them unless you actually get them as a unit. That could be a kind of greedy tactic from side games, but I can see that.
Right. I mean, well, other games, and even like the newly featured and newly launched Genshin Impact have a trial feature for characters. When you're playing through story, or if you're playing in the current trial events, they allow you to temporarily use an adventurer or character that you don't have, to entice you to want to summon. So, I don't really see anything wrong with that, because in reality, what if you're like, oh, this character looks sweet, and then you pull that character and you just hate the way they play, right?
They already have your resources.
Yeah, I mean, they have your resources, so, you better have hoped that transaction was, mutual, and it's what you wanted, so, I think, that the trial system would definitely help. And we may see that because, Yuji Okada did answer some feedback questions. One of them being about the sandbox feature that we had been asking. So, I think his answer was that they would work towards something, but not to get your hopes up.
No, it was like we might look into it, but we cannot promise anything. They're not working on it yet, and they're not sure if they will work on it. But since there are so many people asking for it, they might consider. But it's not guaranteed. Yeah. That's why they say like don't. It's not a promise, but we might do something.
Right. Yeah. See, and the thing is like I feel like that would really help them out because, yes, it's a lot of work and it most likely would require a lot of resources from the developer. But they could use it as another way to advertise the characters in the banner because, like for example, Mine or Mine, the new wind bow that we have, she has a unique, C5. So, just playing her and trying out her combos, and most likely Ilya coming on the 5th, I believe. Will have, some combos, and if not unique, it's a mana caster weapon, which we only have Joe as a 3-star light, mana caster to use to try out to see how that C5 works for that character. So, yeah, I mean the only other way to test it would be to actually invest in Joe, and you might not want to.
He's a 3-star, so he's a 3-star, and that's like almost nothing. Especially if you're like a more in-game player, you don't even have to get him to like you don't even have to completely 50 note him. You at least just
you probably don't even have to do the co-abilities either because his co-ability is like Mega Man's. The thing is,
a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more Gauge Accelerator, but like you don't have to punish him.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the Punisher is free damage when they're in overdrive, so
yeah.
That part is nice. The thing is I guess they would stack too. You could get like double Gauge Accelerator.
I believe they do stack. I haven't tested it, but imagine like one of the Monster Hunter characters, like Hunter Vanessa.
Oh my god!
With Grace and Mega Man and Mana Caster.
That's like a wet dream.
Yeah. And then like Overdrive Punisher as a print and stuff like that. I think that's still a print, right?
Yeah, we do at the very least have a Mother's Love, which is like 35%. Age Accelerator 2. And then we also have the 4 striking prints, right? So I'm sure Monster Hunter Vanessa would be where it's at to increase how much you can do to the OD bar.
She has the highest OD damage in the game, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. She does have the highest. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much she has.
I did some High Zodiac recently with some friends. I used Vanessa, and I broke Master Zodi in 3-4 strikes.
Yes.
It's it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I did. You run the Hunter Cerise shared skill, right? And I had like Thor, Hunter Cerise, yada yada, and it was expert, and it was 1 4-strike, and I went from full to 0, and I broke him.
Nice.
And that was before these weapon worm print changes. So I can only imagine now. I mean, the thing now is we have 3 5-star worm prints and 2 4-star worm prints. Which, if you think about it, because of the changes that they made to the worm, right, where each worm print only has 1 ability, we're in a position where they basically gave us a 3rd worm print. If you're considering it from the old system, where the old system was only 2 worm.
Well, I mean, it's more like half another worm print because most worm prints had 2 effects before, and now you basically possess like a combined total of 4 abilities. But now you have 5, so it's like another half. But considering
Maybe.
but considering how it's a 5-star print and not like a 4-star, yeah. It's
See,
really
the thing
good.
is, the thing is maybe, right? Because let's say
Yeah.
you look at like a dagger character, right? Let's go to like something generic like Belina. Not even, well, you know what? Okay, let's just go even more generic. Let's say like
Vice.
Vice. Sure, yeah. I mean, what kind of print in the old system would you have? Twinfold and Poison Punisher,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's 3 abilities. So in the new system, that's 3 worm print slots. You have 2 left, which would be the equivalent of a third worm print, right?
True.
So that's kind of my analysis, because in most cases, the generic print was the 40% skill damage print, whatever that was, the weapon specialty, and then a Punisher print.
Or Primal Crisis.
Yeah, or Primal Crisis, right? Which in the case of Primal Crisis, that could be 4 worm prints, but then you still have the extra slot for 1 more ability in this new system, which could then lead into an affinity bonus, which could be, your extra slot. So yeah, I mean, that and, the weapon changes, which honestly, boys, with those new changes for Agito,
Not a big fan.
it's going to be interesting. The weapon bonus is kind of a new spin on endgame.
Yeah, it's almost a facility, but you have to farm like every weapon.
Right. In my opinion, the way that this works is it's more guiding you towards choosing a weapon, like being a wand main, a lance main, a sword main. And a lot of people, I feel, are already in that direction, where they choose like 2 weapons that they really like and go from there. Right? I mean, because the thing is if you're like, oh, like in GLACE's case, like, oh, I'm a Patia main, right? That's the
I was
equivalent
gonna say that.
right?
You're
just a lance main. You're just a lance main.
Lance main
For
acts
example,
secondary.
I haven't even
Yeah.
touched the weapon bonus yet. But
Right.
when I do farm, the first thing I'm gonna farm is sword, because I do
Oh,
main a
yeah.
sword. Like it's just coincidence, because it's not even my favorite weapon. It just happens that I have a sword that I really like on every element. So Flame has
Right.
both Uden and Marth. Water has Summer Celiera. Wind has Leif and Galarenzo now that he's a lot better now.
Oh, I heard about that.
Light has Albert and Gala Prince or Gala Uden.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Shadow has Gala Alex. Like, come on.
Right.
So-
I mean, you have a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy hitters.
So Sword, I feel like
Um,
Sword is overall the best weapon right now. Sword has like the best
Yeah.
characters overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm probably gonna focus on Sword first.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, yeah. Sword is definitely a reliable pick. I think the other thing though is Lance is a really good alternative.
Yeah.
You have, if you don't have a DPS in Lance, you have a buffer. So that or Wand basically is how it sits for me.
Wand,
Because Galamim
Boy.
is probably one of the best flame units in the game now.
Oh, right now, yeah,
Um,
she's so good now.
Like, she's insane. The new affinity bonus for dragons and the new balance changes for dragons. I used a Mim skill on Volk.
Was it like the regular one or like Hybernhilda?
Oh, it was Hybernhilda. I was on
Okay.
3rd shift, right? So like everything
Oh,
was
wow.
maxed to the max,
Yeah.
and I almost peaked in like 2 mil on my
Oh.
S1.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Like I've never done 2 mil. I've done like 350k and been like, yeah, and then like in this new change with all the dragon damage, like my Draco is maxed. Like my lances are maxed. Aside from like Aito, right? Like Yeah, the changes. Yeah, I mean, we also have the Banes on the weapons, which only apply to like some random stuff. But I think some of the Agito are Therion. I know Ciela is.
Yeah.
Which means that that weapon Bane would also apply to her.
True.
So, the Void weapons are definitely going to be a first must build and max for the weapon type that you're looking.
Especially for Master, since they stay
Oh,
on
yeah.
the second form like the whole fight.
Yeah, definitely. Because, whatever form they are, right, it's going to be useful.
No, I was just gonna say, like, here I am, Patia main, sinking everything into Lance, and she's a buffer. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the thing is that I like to see the might go up. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I see number go up, I get dopamine. That's
right.
how I am.
Right, and you never know too, right? They have the current might system. What if when the new difficulty of Cayenne comes out and they're gating 11k might?
That's
or
easy.
in this case they'd be gating 12k, right?
You need Cat for that, but I think Patia could maybe do that if she might pet it. I don't know. I still have to do both Agito lances, a High Dragon lance, and a couple of core weapons. So I'm getting close.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely probably going to be using Damascus ingots on the core weapons because it's just so much sand.
Yeah.
It's 7 sand per unbind.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that until I did 3 of them. And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of low now.
Yeah. Which, this leads into another gripe for me personally. I had, like, every 5-star IO weapon, like, mubbed, for the most part. And I dismantled them all for sand. And this was in the old system, right, before version 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I go into version 2.0, and they're like, yeah, you don't have any of these weapons. You just never had them. And I'm like, And, like, all those rupees, probably, like, hundreds of millions of rupees, right, gone, because they got dismantled. And I'm like, bro, wait. Please.
I mean, that's kind of understandable just because, they weren't in your barracks and you already had the materials for them. So,
yes, but they also have the weapon history. They had the weapon history, right? So
they did. Yes.
I don't know. That's just one of the gripes of being like an older player. I mean, the benefit and the difference between me and a new player is that I have all those sands that I can just recraft. So I'm only out the rupees. It's a minor inconvenience, but I can understand. Obviously, the system has to continue to cater towards new players. Otherwise, we, we won't have a game.
It's weird how, like, it's supposed to be for newer players, but now you have to grind so much more for
my god,
for weapons.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's
today.
The wormprint changes were weird. Like, I don't think the wormprints were complicated before. So, like, my only gripe now is that I had to sit for like hours remanaging all of my teams because of the wormprint changes.
Right, because of how significant the changes were.
Yeah, I had to, like, augment every wormprint again. I had to check every wormprint. I had to change every team. So that's my only personal gripe with wormprints. But I don't think they were complicated enough to need a change. I guess, like, everyone is kind of stronger now, but, like, whatever. But the weapon changes just doesn't make sense for me. Like I understand what they did, and I don't understand how that is, like, supposed to be for newer players, because there's so much grind now. There is so much grind, and I just don't think that was the best option.
Yeah. So the one thing that's different for the change that has to get mentioned, co-op actually gives like double what it used to, and the old co-op is now solo drops, right? So for when you do solo, so that the drops there have increased. I think in terms of the weapons, like maxing the weapons. You don't need to get multiple copies to get the weapon bonus. You only need to max and bind the weapon, and then refine the weapon.
No, actually, some weapons are weird. At least with core weapons, you have to completely max and bind them. But with Void, Chimera Tech, High Dragon, and Agito Tier 2, because you can't even get the weapon bonus until they're Tier 2. You have to unbind them 5 times, which is the 4 for the base one, refine them, and then unbind them once from there.
Interesting, yeah. The
like I just don't like how they increased the cost to
that's what I was about to mention.
The cost increase regarding rupee costs for the Agito weapon upgrades. God.
Yeah, they did. Today is the 2nd, and today we got a massive quote-unquote gift of 100 million rupees, a free 6-star ingot, and like 50 gold honey as a kind of like apology gift for the massive increase for Agito Tier 2. And I'm still floored by that, because now the cost is that okay, so ignoring the cost for like crafting the Agito weapon by itself and getting it to 4 unbinds, just a small, mostly minuscule upgrade of getting them to Tier 2 max unbind is 30 million rupees. And I'm just like, oh my Patia, how are you supposed to deal with this? There's so much.
Yeah.
People have. I think that with I've seen some friends, and I'm pretty sure they with 4 Fafnirs, triple Avenue to Fortune drops, they only get like 27 million.
Oh yeah, no, Avenue to Fortune is not the best way to farm rupees.
Yeah, Avenue to Fortune is
but like
even
still like
the math on Void is still better.
Yeah, but even then, that's what new players are going to be gravitating towards, because this Avenue to Fortune.
But like,
it's like, oh, this is the main money making, right?
The problem that I have even then, like, it's kind of similar with the problem we had on the augments on the first year, when they were like just beginning. It was so expensive to get the augments, and it was kind of necessary. So I just don't understand how like how like making more friendly to newer players is like how is that friendly to newer players? Like, it's hard even for endgame players to get everything. And
you're talking about just purely the cost change to the Agito weapon?
cost for like both materials and the rupees.
Yeah.
The materials, like, not so much. It's a minor increase, but the rupees is so expensive now. Like, I had a lot of rupees, and I am still like, I don't have enough to max everything out, because it's just so expensive for like both core weapons, everything. Like, I regret so much saving up the materials I had before. Like, because I was thinking, for example, I had a lot of materials for Volk, and I was saving up so like I could use them on a new unit that I got that I liked. But now I had to spend so much to get a staff, so much more than I would spend normally. So I just don't understand how that's friendly to newer players, and I just don't understand the point of making this. It's not even like you can farm, you can buy rupees with real money, so that just doesn't make any sense.
I think,
there is that guy that spent like 10,000 diamantium to do all of the weapon bonus.
10,000 diamantium?
That
the bonus?
What?
I saw it on Reddit, and it was like 10. I think he said, this is just off of my memory, so this may be inaccurate, but I'm pretty sure I saw on Reddit some guy went out and spent like 10k diamantium to get all of the weapon bonus.
10k.
What?
All of them.
Why?
That is so expensive.
Are you gonna play like all those units? Like,
maybe, I mean, he's
even
a
if
whale.
you're autoing, you
He's
can only use 4 units at a time. So
I mean,
you know,
he included a screenshot of like his Halidom and showing all the weapons getting the percentage strength because it's easier.
yeah,
And you could see
Yeah.
in the top screen of how much diamantium he had. Other than that, and it was like around 150,000
What?
diamantium.
You know, the
This
only
guy is
thing,
like a supreme whale. Okay.
the only thing I can say is you know, thank you for supporting
Thank you.
Amelia Lost.
Yeah.
If you,
I
person on
genuinely
Reddit,
mean it.
Yeah.
I genuinely mean it though. Like, I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I appreciate anyone who's willing to buy diamantium.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just don't spend more than you can afford. Just.
I
Oh,
mean, if he
absolutely,
can
absolutely.
afford all that diamantium, I'm pretty sure he's
No,
entitled to
for
use it.
sure, but, like-
Thanks, by the way,
Right,
random
right.
Reddit person. Thank you. Shout out to you.
I'm not
You're
gonna.
my homie
I'm
for
not gonna-
keeping the game alive.
Not gonna say names, but like I know a person who went pretty hard for a certain alt for a certain character in Halloween,
Ah,
right?
Ah.
Not gonna name whose that is, but like that
They shall
person
remain a
said they
mystery.
couldn't afford at the time, so like be careful.
I'm
It's just a
amazed.
game at the end. It's just a game.
Oh, do you have something to say, Orthodox? We don't want to. You know, we
No.
don't want to give away the identity of this mystery person.
Yeah.
yeah. If you guys want to know who that is, definitely go and check out Halidom Hotspot episode with Foundry, which I believe is episode.
No,
Yeah, go to that one,
Yeah.
and then you know, listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if you already know who it is, you know, comment down below. And please support me on Patreon.
comment down below, like right now, before you go watch the Foundry video, if you guessing on who it is.
Yeah. Maybe they'll.
I really like
right,
ramen.
Orthodox. Huh?
I said I really like ramen and oatmeal.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I empathize with whoever that was. So.
I
Yeah.
should get you into grits, man.
Oh
Nothing-
yeah,
nothing-
grits. Some
Yeah,
good stuff.
I'm from the South, and like grits are basic, but they're good. All my friends hate it, but I'm like, nothing gets me going in the morning. So it's like some cheesy grits, maybe a little pepper, some salt.
What is going on?
That sounds
right now?
good. That sounds
Like
good.
giving breakfast advice.
But
Speaking of breakfast at Valerio's, yeah, yeah, no, the Agito changes, right? You know, I want to say that these changes were like an aftersight, where they had other plans for version 2.0, but due to the current global situation, they're behind the development schedule. So they decided to turn the current Agito farming into the true end game for the time being, because there's nothing that says that they can't, you know, turn up the amount of rupees that players get or turn down the cost of weapons in the future, right?
Yeah.
Because as we saw, they said, you know, harder difficulties and other bosses are being developed for the future. And there was also a statement that said that there were a lot of changes that they wanted to put into version 2.0 that they could not get to. So, you know, for development constraints, and obviously the largest one right now is the pandemic. So yeah, I mean, I luckily also have crafted every flame, every shadow, and every wind Agito weapon already.
Wow.
Oh, Orthodox Hero the Whale.
Guys, I made auto comps. It was a good time.
The only auto comp I have is Ciela, and I don't have anything else because I don't have like Grace.
Ciela, Kai, and yeah, actually.
I should make a
Yeah,
good
my
one for
Volk
Kai.
one is not that consistent. I think it's like 70%.
Yeah.
I have to like casually reset it every once in a while.
I kind of have one for each element, but
Yeah.
some of them are just too inconsistent.
Right,
like
right.
Volk and the Tartarus. They're just. I haven't
Oh,
tested.
Tartarus
after
is
the-
weird.
Yeah, I haven't tested after the update, so I might just check it out.
Yeah. I tried with
Could be
Tartarus
better.
after the update for expert, right? And a lot of times the run fails after the shift for me is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to bend your ear a little bit later after we stop recording to try and get some good auto counts for like Zodiark for like orbs
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
And
everything's pretty
Hybrid
much
Hilda,
possible now.
too.
Yeah, everyone's
I
so
can
strong
do
Yeah.
Jupiter. I'm pretty sure I could put together easily. I have Midgar done, and I have High Mercury is literally just my Ciela team. But I just brought him over there, and it worked. I didn't change a thing
Yeah.
because they're all kitted with Agito. Is Templar Hope Agito, Ranzel Agito, Silas Agito, and I don't know why I gave it to Lowen, but Lowen has a max bound staff. I'm like,
Yeah,
there you
I
go,
mean,
precious boy.
You saved yourself 30,000 rupees of difference by getting the staff. So, you know.
Yeah, true. I'm never probably gonna upgrade
I
that.
mean, looks, when it comes to auto composition and when you're looking into what weapons you should max if you don't have a weapon main, staff is always going to be a weapon that will appreciate the extra stats. So yeah, I mean, staff, lance, axe or sword, and then I think that's about it. Maybe dagger. But I think the 4 weapons that are going to be used primarily in auto compositions are staff, lance, axe, and sword. Those are probably the 4 most advantageous weapons to max first. In any order, really. I mean, it's pretty much down to whatever you like to play. But those stat bonuses are going to add up. I think in total, it's like 12.5% for all the weapons, which is like an entire new facility, in most cases. So, yeah, I mean, that's a sizable bonus for stats. And if you're getting 12.5 to your whole team, that's going to sizably improve, your auto compositions.
Oh, and that will go up with the addition of the Master Agito fights being added very soon, because they're going to be releasing them much more rapidly now.
Right.
I think we
get
Master
a higher level
Ciela
on the
like
tree.
next week.
Yeah, we're getting
that
we're actually getting every master by the end of October.
Yeah.
No, I think we get Master Tartarus at around the beginning of November.
Like November.
It's around
4th, maybe. Yeah, I can check.
But it's around the end of October.
Right.
We're getting them.
Yeah, it's
really
definitely.
fast. But can we really quick talk about how everyone is so strong now?
It's really, yeah. I mean, there will probably have to be either an entire video or discussion dedicated to the changes. I know Xenozylus made like an hour and a half long. He sat down and made the video. Big shout out to him.
I saw that.
Because that's a lot of work to pour through the change and to assess how they affected the character. So he's been really grinding. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely so. It's Xenozylus on. He's been putting out a lot of content for DL and for Genshin, which has been crazy. So big props to him for being able to do so much.
The game completely changed. Everyone is so much stronger now. We had the Wormprint changes. It's basically a universal buff. Everyone got so much better.
Oh my god, I'm so happy with Mega Man's changes.
Oh yeah,
apparently
they just
Mega
doubled
Man
everything, right? Every mod.
Yep.
Not everything. They doubled They doubled the mods on Metal Blade. They doubled it on Leaf Shield. Leaf Shield is huge.
Leaf Shield is
by
insane.
itself.
Yeah.
Leaf Shield is bonkers now, but they even upgraded his C5, so his lemons. The only things they did not buff on him, they also did buff Rush, by the way. They also did buff his unique dragon form, Rush Jet or Rush Buster, whatever they call it. Oh no, he uses the best boy in the game, the goodest boy. But they did not buff the mods for the bleed from Metal Blade, and it did not buff his 4-strike, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So they didn't buff his charge shot, which I am disappointed in. I was hoping his charge shot would get buffed. Because I always, like, once I had this plan where I would get Grace, and I would get Rat Zerker, and I would do like a Buster only run of some fight, and I just only used charge shots.
Yeah. I mean, it's still good, right? Because there are instances where if you're doing the action elements, you can still weave in a Buster shot.
Yeah.
Right, where like let's say you get picked by a tornado, right? The purple tornado
or like when Volk is, or like when he's doing his death thing personnel.
Yeah. I mean, you can run back and then hold the charge shot and then fire it off, right? So there's places for it, there's applications for it. It's just that I'm sure they didn't want to make the 4-strike the new way to play Mega Man, where you're only 4-striking. Which we tried, and was kind of fun, but it wasn't as good as the lemons, at least for charging Leaf Shield, because that's where all your power comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the big thing it really is that Mega Man actually wins out huge from the Wormprint changes, because a lot of people I know initially were like, okay, this is a step in the wrong direction. Wormprints only have one ability. It's trivializing the system, yada, yada, yada. But if each Wormprint has one ability, and there is a set for Affinity, right, which is like another ability in your set bonus, weird and unique characters like Mega Man and all the new characters that are coming that haven't been released yet have a lot of new sets to play. Because, you can really... buckle down and pick some weird sets. Because before, right, all your good prints would be tied to skill damage or, or skill haste, right, which is like something Mega Man can't use. Yeah. But now you can pick and choose all these different flurry prints. You can choose 4-strike prints if you wanted for him. If you were going to power up 4 strikes, strength, you have a lot of option with what you can pick on him. So I think personally that's a big win for a unique character like Mega Man. And
not just Mega Man, like it applies to many more different characters.
Oh yeah, I mean,
as like an example.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, is that you can expect, look at year 1 units, right? They were pretty cookie cutter, right? And then you look at year 2 units, and now they have unique co-abilities. They have unique C5s. They have, different abilities on their skills. And now we're going into year 3 with these drastic Wormprint changes. You can bet that we're going to get crazier characters. We had stances.
Different dragons.
Yeah. I mean, look at Midgar Zero, right?
Zero,
he has a skill.
Sticks, like they're all like pretty. Most of them are not good, like except for Midgard Zero. Midgard Zero is actually amazing, but horrors and sticks are kind of trash, but they're really different. Like we never saw something like that before. We're getting like really wacky and weird dragons. Hopefully they continue that, but making good dragons instead. That's my
right. I mean, well, the thing is Horus. He's good on like buffers, right?
Like Emma.
Like Emma,
he is
where he actually is
Emma.
best in slot for her, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll probably find characters down the line that will be able to use him, right? And where Mars will simply become like how the 60% strength dragons are. It's just a matter of time in regards to that.
That's just how gachas work, man.
Right. And even if he's not like the best unit, he'll enable some wacky combo or some wacky thing. Like, for example, Gala Cerise. the changes that were made to Gala Cerise.
Oh, those were good, yeah.
If do you know Mikoto's new spiral that they did for him, where all they did was increase the attack rate buff by 5%, so it went from 10 to 15. If you run that on Cerise with her buff time, and then like a buff time print or Tobias in your backline, you can have 20% attack rate permanent.
Wow.
You have enough. It's like 25 plus seconds of attack rate, 20%, which is enough time for Cerise to recharge that shared skill to use it again.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a really good build, but it's fun, I guess.
It sounds fun. That sounds very fun.
See, but the thing is you use one of your 4-star Wormprint slots for that 20% buff time. You know, and then you have the remaining 4 prints left over, and you know your abilities could be Summer Cleo and the Mikoto attack rate, and then of course the whole reason or set for Cerise is her S1, right? But you have to remember that Cerise's S2 is also now a strength buff on both iterations for the team. So before it was strength on just the first one, and then it was on the second. But now it's strength on both uses. It's just the second usage also gives a defense buff to the team. So that would further be enabled for the whole team, and that would also add to her damage on her S1. And then you have all this buff time, right, that would allow the skill haste and the skill damage, right, from the Summer Cleo skill, which would also re-enable her S1 again. And remember, attack rate also increases it decreases the cast animation. So you're able to use your skills faster. So, yeah, I mean, basically the way you have to look at it is if you run Mikoto skill on Hunter Cerise, or not Hunter Cerise, Gala Cerise, it is essentially the same as running the Agito weapon, Shadow weapon on her. It's basically that.
That's pretty cool, man.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, you have the ability to put Summer Cleo on it too, because it's a 5 cost. So, because a majority of Gala Cerise's damage comes from her S1. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I have it, so I'll be testing. So I will let you guys know. I will let you boys know how it looks.
Please, I want to see that in action.
I'd love to run with that too.
Love Bo. I'd love to see that.
I love Bo. So, yeah, maybe after the recording we play some, when we do it. The only thing I have left to do is Spiral Summer Cleo, and how that works. So. I need the shared skill, please.
Don't you need to go to all the way to like 67 nodes to get?
I know,
shared skill
but
upgraded?
That's fine. I like Bo, so I guess I'll just spiral her all the way. I mean, you have to use up. There's no reason not to just fully spiral her, because you have to use all 7 or 8, Champions Testaments. So if I'm going to use all the Champions Testaments, I might as well just make her 7.
It's just like 1 tail and like 5 Great Worm orbs for the last node or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
right.
nothing.
Which for me now, I already have like 1,000 like Jupiter tails.
Oh yeah. Have you been farming for Xena? Gala Xena?
I did. I used my weekly chests for her, but I haven't pulled her yet. I've been doing my dailies. I've been doing my daily freeze, and I've been waiting. So I just broke 80,000 Wormite, and
oh, nice. I only have like 15k.
Oh man, yeah. I've been ever since the unnamed Halloween scare from an unknown individual. I've been very meticulous with saving my Wormite. So
I'm still recovering from Monster Hunter.
Yes, Monster Hunter was definitely a time.
I had a bunch and Hunter Cerise took all of them.
And we'll be able to talk more about the ongoing developments of what we're doing in the game and how characters are interacting in the future. Did you boys want to move on to the art section?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. And then GLACE, would you be so kind as to take it away?
All right, the art monkey has brought us some cool stuff.
Bless the art monkey.
First that we have here is Pinon, I believe is how her name is said.
I think so. LERART, our resident, Pinon fan.
Yeah.
Is that the correct pronunciation? We lost.
Let's pretend he said yes and keep on going.
Okay, I think he's just starstruck.
He's just I'm really amazed at Frostfiresoul's work. He is a great guy. I've worked with him before. It's not part of the showcase today, but I did win a raffle for him, and I got him to do a really cool, post-workout patio. It was really cool. But,
nice.
Yeah, that's not gonna be for here. But right now we're focusing on these cool Pinon here.
That's not gonna be for here.
That's
for the Halidom at night special.
Come on, man.
Wait, hold on. Let me do the actual iteration of it. It's for GLACE's Halidom at night. That's the iteration.
Oh, we revived LERART. You revived LERART with that.
Yes, I brought him back to life with the. He's like, oh, are we doing the at night special?
Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, my mom came to talk to me, so I kind of lost the.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, that's okay. We just displayed the first art peanut.
Yeah. She's really cool. I love the shading. I love how Frostfiresoul does their coloring. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other piece they did was a second anniversary thing of Kirsty, which is really cool. I love the color that they did. I love Kirsty's hair color on this. I love it.
Yeah, I really want to build Kirsty.
I wish I had Kirsty.
I do have her, and I think we talked about briefly the Vanessa, the Flame Axe Vanessa. Her spiral enables Kirsty's A3 so that you can keep that strength stack forever. So
yeah, we did talk about that on the other episode, but
yes,
yes, I want Kirsty.
Spiral.
if I had if there was a theoretical dream summon and I already had Grace and Tobias, I'd be getting Kirsty.
Well, you never know. We have 28 days left of free 10s.
Oh, that'd be great.
So anything's possible.
But no, this is really great work. I don't know. I'm just I feel like I've been a decent friend of Frostfiresoul for a while, so I feel like I'm maybe repeating myself, at least to him. But no, it's great. They're really cool, and I like their art.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks amazing. This is my first time seeing it. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and give them a follow as well.
No, yeah, do that.
Yeah, and for those listening, it's at Frostfiresoul over on Twitter. For these
links will be in the description as usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Links in the description as well as their Twitter, so go ahead and follow them, show them some love.
Next up here we have EmperorAtma. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I hope I'm getting it close. I'm gonna call you the Emperor. Okay, with all the Agito, and this Volk, the Plague Shredder. And
that's awesome.
Really cool art of all the Agito and Nedrick with instruments. And Volk is just absolutely shredding it. It even has like a fake unit thing where he's an axe.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, that's awesome.
It's super
and
well
the stats,
detailed.
The stats are all like 666, right? For the devil, but also the rock. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love the shading on it. Even in the background there's Tartarus on Cowbell. And I find that really funny.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I love that in pieces, and I love when the artists put in the little details that keep you finding new things. Yeah, this is really well done. I really, really like it. I'm sure we'll have to share this with Devin.
Oh yeah,
If he has not seen it, I'm sure he would love this piece.
I feel like he has, but if not, then he's gonna get an absolute kick out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
But next up is a more recent piece of Mini, I believe is how you pronounce her name. The recent fairy lady Windbow. Very good. I don't know what else to say. The shading is phenomenal.
Yes.
Shading is phenomenal.
Yeah, she's adorable.
I like how like the wings fade.
Yeah, I really like the color, right? And yeah, I like this character. I like this character. Yes. I'm very happy to have pulled her with the free pulls.
Oh, you did!
So,
you lucky.
I did. And yeah, and this is at EmperorAtma. So Atma spelled A-A. And we'll have a link in the description for the pieces as well as their Twitter in the description.
So yeah, go get Frostfiresoul and the Emperor both follows because they're really rad people.
Yes, absolutely. We must support all of the wonderful content creators, artists in our community. So, yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you again for accompanying me on this journey in version 2.0.
Here's to another year, man.
Absolutely. And for all our listeners as well, guys, thank you. If you've made it this far into the podcast, we greatly appreciate your support. If you have not joined the Discord, definitely do so. Link is in the description. And if you like Patia as much as GLACE does, be sure to join the Church of Patia. Link in the description below as well. Follow GLACE on Twitter. And follow LERART on Twitter as well. You can't forget. You have to follow LERART. It's most important.
Yeah.
Please.
LERART Hype Train. LERART Hype Train.
LERART Hype Train will continue every episode. Thank you for those that did comment LERART Hype Train last time. We did see you, and it did make LERART's day. So thank you so much. So join the Discord. We have the Halidom Hotspot channel for all things Halidom Hotspot. One of the best ways to interact with us. As well as comments down below. I do read all the comments and suggestions. So, all right. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey guys, it's me, Orthodox. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I'd like to take this moment to thank my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to make such amazing content. And a super special thank you to my patrons Lucas, Straightlace, King Mike, and Rainbow for becoming a Baby Brunhilde's bestie. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to make such amazing content. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your support. And if you haven't considered supporting me on Patreon, a little bit goes a long way. We've even got a special membership lounge and VC for supporters of the channel. Thanks so much, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see ya in the next one.